spend the sum of 63.5 billion naira to renovate the government house amidst the economic hardship attracted mixed reactions from all viewers and social media. The governor, Mr. Seyi Makinde, came out to address this significant allocation, attributing the cost to the volatility of the naira against the dollar. Meanwhile, APC party member, the Oyo State chapter, has said that the governor must reconsider his plan to allocate such staggering number of 63.5 billion to renovate the Agodi government house. The party criticized the move as a blatant display of profligacy, insensitivity, and impunity, warning that it could further destabilize the state's economy. Now, the conversation is, should the Oyo State government spend that much money to give the state the much needed renovation of the government house, or do you agree with the critics of this move? You can join the conversation on 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send your messages on X, and we'll be happy to read your comments on YouTube also. I know when we hear 63.5 billion, it was that's a lot of money. But the governor has also come out to say, if you look at the numbers, if you look at it against the dollar, you know that the truth is that the volatility of the naira is what is making the numbers look big. For example, he had mentioned that many years ago, during the former governor Ajimobi, that he took a loan, I'm trying to remember the figure, at 350 naira to the dollar at the time, which was about 70 billion naira. No, but today he's having to pay back 300 billion naira because obviously the exchange rate has changed. So what they would have probably paid something much smaller for back then is what's causing the number to be that large. But do you agree? Do you think even with that, do you think it's still a good idea to spend that kind of money in renovation?
I think that it does not have a correlation. We're talking about renovations, and here you're talking about debt. The two don't stand apart. They are different things. When I read the write-up or the story, I was thinking that there was going to be a proper breakdown of how this money was going to be spent renovating. As somebody that is not so new, but also new in the home front space and real estate, doing interiors and renovations, I know that, yes, renovations are quite costly. If a renovation costs more than when you actually want to put a new structure down, I mean, but I also think that majority of these things that they want to renovate, one, what's the land size? Are they renovating every aspect of it? How many parts of the government house are they renovating, or is going under renovation? Now, if we're saying we want to renovate this whole building, it's different from we want to renovate 2 floors on this building. That was what I really expected of a breakdown. Okay, maybe the mosque or the hospital or the lodge is bad and is dilapidated, and these are the things that we are spending money on. Another thing, is there importation going to be made during this renovation? Yeah, we are here saying, of course, there might not be, because really the figures look very big, very exorbitant. That's why we would have expected a proper breakdown for people who have been in the architecture engineering space to understand that, okay, these are the things that would be done. And that is not what I'm seeing in that story. The story is digressing on the debt Ajimobi took and how they are repaying loan. For me, it doesn't add up. Yes, renovation is costly if you ask me, but then what are the aspects that are really going to be renovated? And are we doing a total overhauling? Are we breaking down, demolishing to rebuild? Because renovation is not fresh build. So if you're saying renovation, it means that probably there's a remodeling, we are doing certain things, or certain things used to be there, and we want to affix it. So I don't get that breakdown. It's not proper for me yet.
So when I saw this, I actually felt, are they building new structures? Are they adding new structures to buy? I said, I know I went to school now, so renovation, they are not building new one, because 63.something billion is a lot. And it's so funny, it's hilarious, because we've been shouting that we're cutting down on, that government should cut down on expenses, excesses, waste. People are hungry. Nigerians are hungry. And someone wants to spend 60-something billion to renovate. That's a no-no, one. Secondly, he was called to explain why he spent that amount of money. I didn't see any explanation. I didn't see any breakdown. I didn't see any financial breakdown, right? One. Secondly, he started talking about naira to dollar. We're here. part of President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda is that maybe we should patronize made in Nigeria goods, made in Nigeria producers, manufacturers. Everything that has to do with innovation can be gotten in Nigeria. My brother runs a factory and they do buildings and everything. So I know this for a fact. Everything you need to renovate that building can be gotten in Nigeria. So what has dollar got to do with anything? Right? Because we're trying to cut costs to the barest minimum here. And then we've not taken care of healthcare issues that we have, even that trickles down to the local government, to the people. We've not even taken care of our health sector, educational sector, agricultural sector. There's hunger in the land. You want to spend that money. How do people sleep at night? Is this your explanation? Then it was even after the financial pressure and explanation on him that you not even talked about the airports. The little thing they want to do on the airport, for that they want to now bring in the ILS system for landing of airplanes. So if pressure was not put on him, he did not even know that they needed to sort that out to ensure security of people coming. Are you joking?
They were working on that. Okay, let me come to you. Chika. What are your thoughts on this budget?
Personally, I think it boils down to one simple question. And the question really is this the highest and best and most judicious use of these funds in a way that it meets the people of the Oyo State at their point of need? Does this, to a very palpable extent, even from the grassroots level, does this really cater to the pain points of each and every resident or citizen or indigene of Oyo State? One thing we have to consider is there's precedent. So we've had various state governments come up before and say, oh, they want to undertake renovation projects, and we see what happened.
Even federal government?
Yes. When, for instance, in Bauchi State, when they wanted to do their state house renovation, they had earmarked, I think, 6.6 billion. Sorry, 2.6 billion. By the time they were done, they ended up spending 9.6 billion on the house renovations. It's the same thing that also happened in Kaduna State. They were supposed to spend 2.9 billion and they eventually ended up spending 9.6. Same thing that happened also in Kogi State in 2024. They had earmarked 2.29 billion only to end up spending an additional 3 billion. So even when you say that the reason why you have to spend this much is because of the volatility of naira to dollar, during the course of renovation, you know for a fact that these variables will persist and you will definitely end up spending so much more. Even at that, taking a look at this precedent, 63.4 billion seems excessive. I know, I mean, the government of Oyo State has done quite a bit that is applaudable, even though this is what governments should do for the people in terms of healthcare, in terms of paying pension to pensioners, agriculture, roads. Then we can see that work is ongoing. But to me, I really feel that, you know, it's important that there's priority, right? Is this a priority? Is this a pressing need right now? Even though I know that there's there's an image that the State House, you know, projects.
Yeah.
But
yes, I hear you.
I do not think that this is a pressing need right now for the people.
So I hear you, but also I'm reminded that in this country, we lack maintenance culture. We let things dilapidate a lot. You know, somebody who doesn't fix his plumbing in his house is now working in government. There's a possibility that he's not going to care if the faucet is broken, if it goes out. Everything year in, year out, we never focus. I remember I always refer to this story when our former CEO came in and he started planting flowers. Someone, what are you planting flower for? Because we are fine, we entered the office, we are okay, we don't need flower, but he just felt that how can I come into an office that there's a space like this, we need landscaping. And suddenly he started planting flower, and initially we were criticizing him. But then we now understood, after the flowers came and they bloomed and everywhere looks beautiful, you walk in and you feel like, oh, you're walking in a nice
fresh air.
Because for him, it was the maintenance of the place was so important. But for us as African Nigerians, we didn't really care. We're just working, we're living there. So many a times, these offices, these government offices are not poorly maintained. So for somebody to need a 6-something billion is because somebody has not done their job. Somebody has not maintained the certain place. You let certain things dilapidate so much that now a government is having to pay so much. So aside from the amount of money that is being put together, also, don't you think is because as a result of the fact that there was lack of maintenance on the part of the state officials to reduce the burden on the government to pay that kind of money? That is one. Secondly, we must not also forget that this governor has also earmarked a tangible sum, I mean, compared to other states, for education. Yeah, it'll be 21%, which is like most states usually have like between 10 or 5% of their budget. So right now, this government has put in quite a bit of money because the entire budget is about over 600 and something billion. So this renovation is 10%. So my question to you is that do you think 10% of your entire budget is too small a figure or is too large a figure to renovate your state house? This is not just somebody's office. This is a state house. I'll let you think about that when we go on a short break. When we come back, we'll discuss it. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing Governor Makinde, and because we know, yes, it was trending, people were talking about it, but until we discuss it on Your View, it hasn't been discussed. So that's why we have to bring it back again, so that we should make it trend a bit more. But, I mean, I was sharing a perspective, the fact that, number one, costs is a problem, and also the fact that this governor indeed is doing quite a bit, as you mentioned about the aircraft he just recently purchased. The fact that the entire budget of this renovation is just 10% of his entire budget. Is that too much in your view, or is that too little? Because some would argue it's probably not enough.
Morayo, what I can say right now is, Governor Makinde, stop it! Stop it! We know you're joking. Can't be serious that you want to use 10% of your budget to renovate. Hey, this is such a joke. Do you know you can never overemphasize the amount or the percentage that you put towards healthcare? We don't have hospitals, so we don't have nothing is happening in Nigeria in terms of healthcare. You can never overemphasize the percentage of your budget that goes to education. Pensioners have not been paid. People that have worked and toiled for this nation, for these different states.
Let me tell you what he has broken down. He has budgeted 145 billion for education. No, let us be sure, because he has budgeted about 21%.
You can never have enough. That is still not enough.
Yeah, because he still has to build infrastructure.
No, that is not, but that does. You cannot spend 10% of your budget or renovate. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how things are done. If you want to do something, do a project, a government project, what I expect you to do is that you come up with a committee, a team, and then they now decide, okay, if we want to bring down these buildings now and build new ones, how much will it cost us? Maybe it might cost us, let's say, 21 billion. Renovation cost us 63 billion. Don't you think that they will now go and get a guest house or somewhere and put him and then break down all those structures and build a new one? The way things should be done, the right way things should be done, is that you have to look for the most minimal way to achieve aspect, to achieve anything, to achieve anything you want to achieve. That is the normal way, right thinking people behave.
But Governor has said that you people are not Oyo State people. That you should mind
who says we are not Oyo State?
That you're not Oyo State.
I schooled 6 years in Ibadan.
You don't qualify.
So, but
I'll come to you, Dami. Let me take this call. Good morning. Thanks for calling. You are live. Hello, good morning. Oh, I think I lost him. Go ahead, Dami.
I think if he says that we are not from Oyo, that's been discriminatory, because he does not even know if some of us have. I don't live there does not mean that I don't have an affiliation there. Now, let's look at it. I like the fact that you said that, yes, Nigerians as a whole, in fact, it trickles down into our homes most times. We do not have this maintenance culture. We see it everywhere. One small hole on the road until when it becomes a swimming pool before they begin to do kitty. But now, my point is, if we're saying renovation, who lives in the government's house? Who are the people that use the facility? Governor Makinde has about 2 more years to live. And I can be sure that when the next governor comes in, he wants to do touches. He wants to do renovations. I've been to a government house before that what they do in the government house is to host parties. I say it with my full chest. If you ask me after the show, I will tell you the government house. What they do after the government, what they do in that government house is to flaunt girls, is to host parties and just enjoy. So to what benefit is 2 years renovation going to do to Governor Makinde himself? Does he not have a home that he's going to after he leaves the government house? If he was telling us that, oh, I'm renovating my home so that I can move, we understand that, oh, you're doing something for us.
You have to also remember, a government house also has staff.
A government house has staff.
Who work there. There are some people, at least
people who work there. Do they live permanently there? Because the little I know some of them go home. They have individual homes. They go, they come back. And we are making it look too Banana Island for government household. They are supposed to be there to serve. It's not supposed to be a very comfortable place for you, because we even know that most governors, maybe the few I know, that most governors don't even live in that government house. It's just a facade, let the structure be there. We have something there.
I have Elder Sam. Good morning, Elder Sam. Thanks for calling. You live.
Good morning, Morayo.
Yes, sir.
My name is Elder Sam Adeniji from Jokoro.
You're welcome to the show, sir.
I really appreciate the topic you people brought up this morning. And I like the way Dami Lola, interrogated the matter. What I want you to believe is that this building is not just going to be reconstructed. What we are told is renovation. Though I know other people will quickly say that, after all, we can renovated the International Bola Ahmed International Conference Center for 39 billion. But this is government out of government. And we know that there is hunger in the land according to people generally. And this hunger was induced by the policies of the government, which has brought more money to the state government. Makinde has been in government for 6 years. Why is it now that is now thinking of renovation of government house for 63.something billion? Is there no budgetary allocation for yearly maintenance of government house for the past 6 years? So all these are to be looked into. But I believe that what is the undercurrent is the 2027 presidential ambition of Makinde.
Thank you very much, Elder Sam. I was going to come to you one second, Amaka, because you said something about the fact that maybe there's importation. I don't know. Maybe there is no importation. Let's imagine they want to renovate with everything within Nigeria that can be resourced. That is 60-something billion going into our economy. That's 60-something billion being paid to you to come and do painting, you to come and do bricklayer, so this is going to Nigeria. So this is also money being plowed back into the economy. So so 1 second we're saying don't buy foreign, let us help empower people. The man has budgeted the X amount of billion to renovate with Nigerians, and we are still complaining so much. So what exactly do we want as a people? Okay, so
let me let me also impute to what she said in terms of maintenance and answer you in terms of maintenance too. Let's not forget that we're talking about a government property. And when we talk about maintenance, we all know that every budget has been marked monthly or quarterly for maintenance of a government house. Yeah. So first of all, I expect him to come and tell us what that maintenance money, where it has been going to, what has been happening to it. Because if there's money that's been marked for or budgeted for maintenance, we hope that that money has been maintaining the government house for the 2 terms he was supposed to be there. And it's running 2 years for him to finish. He wants to renovate it, and when a new governor comes in, he'll still renovate and change things. This is money. Therefore, as far as I'm concerned, this is waste. Then secondly, back to what you're saying, for the fact that they're trying to put in this money back into the economy, if, for example, that they're not importing anything, doesn't make it right or justify such expense. Even if it's coming back, there's a debt to that state. I expect him to be able to want to leave a legacy as he's leaving that state in the next 2 years, to be able to say, I paid off the debt. You said there's 300 billion naira debt on that state. I paid off a certain amount. This is what I'm leaving in the coffers. Like when you talk to a P2B, what is using to buga is the fact that till tomorrow he paid off certain debts of the state and he left money in the coffers. That's the legacy a governor should leave for a state. Not spend 2 years before you leave. 2025 don't finish you. You want to spend this amount. There's no justification for it.
Let me not take you up on that.
So you talk about dispensing this excessive amount of money and saying that in a way it would count as good for the people because it's still going to be funneled into the economy. But then again, we still have to talk about the issue of transparency and accountability. True. So we have been told that 63.4 billion will be spent. And let's assume that all of the materials, everything that will be required to execute this project renovation is going to stay within the country. But we don't know for a fact, because like you said, we haven't seen breakdowns. We haven't seen a case-by-case breakdown of how this money...
Let me pause you for a second, because I don't know how every state is going to be giving you case-by-case. But let me take this call. Abubakar, come back to you. Abubakar from Abuja, thanks for calling.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please.
Breakfast team. I love this topic that we are discussing this morning about the renovation of government house in Oyo State. 63.5 clear billion naira on renovation. For a governor that has 2 years to leave office, we know that it's very good for us to do renovation. But are they the critical things that we need? I want to align with the lady that is on a blazer, Abi suit. The fair lady. He was saying that there's no amount of money that we budget for the health sector that will be enough. That we need more money in those sectors. And I want to give a clear example. As a quantity surveyor, Oyo State has 361 ward as a local ward. If this money is being channeled to development of primary health care, let's say the governor budgeted 170 million naira for a primary health care in each ward, it will build 361 primary health care under 1 year before they leave office. That is a good legacy that someone can leave behind. Not just to bring a chunk amount of money, 63.5 billion naira on renovation of government house. Who does that? These are criminal acts. When you give people leadership in this country, they mess up. Do you know how many tractors that 63 billion can buy and give to this work? Each work can have one tractors. And you develop a farm base. We are talking of food insecurity. Someone is budgeting 63 billion.
Thank you very much.
Of
Thank you very much. You see, I'll come to you, Chika, because I have to go on a break. But there's one of the in this article I read. It says that in addition to the 132 million that has been earmarked for hiring professional gardeners to maintain green spaces at the governor's residence. So you hear 132 million is given to gardeners to maintain the green spaces. Now, in your mind, that's a lot of money. But those are going to people's families. These are gardeners that will be hired to cut the grass, to plant trees. This is people's families receiving this money. It's not as if they're throwing the money somewhere else. So I know that the 63.5 billion sounds like a lot of money. But if we look at it in the reality, these are monies that are actually going to be used to produce things within our country. Chika, don't you think?
The wider reach is what we're talking about, Mario. The vast population, not just that tiny chunk of people who have access to that by being in contact with, executing the services. Sure. We're talking about carrying out projects that impact, even when you're long gone, and impacts the life of every resident or citizen of that state. Right. We're talking about healthcare, agriculture, infrastructure, attracting investment to the state. These are things that can generate income. You're saying that there's debt, and now you are saying that you want to actually disburse or take out 10% of your income. And now the governor is saying that we are not residents of if you want to ask every resident or every citizen or indigenous of your state, what are your thoughts on?
I think I know what they want to do with this money. I know what they want to do with this money before we go. They want to use it to renovate Oyo State people. That's the thing that can make sense. That because are you trying to tell maybe there's a human being or there's some human beings they want to renovate, because you don't want to tell me that it is building they want to renovate. You can go and break.
Let's go and break. We'll come back. Stay with us. We're right back.
Oh my God.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to be wrapping up on this conversation. So, I mean, you're going to say something concerning because I know that the former governor, Ajimobi, had renovated 2019. 2019 to now is about 5 years or 26 years.
6 years.
And I'm not sure there is any serious renovation that is required to warrant 63 billion to be spent. So I understand that argument, because you can't be renovating every single tenure of the government. It doesn't make any sense. When you say renovation, should be just touch-ups, just to show your own, to enhance the space for your own taste, not necessarily a full renovation. You get that. However, I also want to believe that even if you want to allocate money for this, the sensitivity of the times, the economic realities should also inform the type of budget or how much we should be willing. And that's where I understand the discussion. I don't think it's wrong for any governor to renovate or to allocate money from his budget to do that. It's probably because of the times that we're going through, because the truth is that that's a lot of money.
To me, right now, the way that this country is, Oga, governor of Oyo State, are there leaky roofs in the State House? Do you have a breakout of pests? Are you able to fumigate? Is the place clean? As long as your people who you govern are living on less than bare necessities. So if as a government you have the bare necessities that you need to function and carry out your duties, that is enough for now. You and I know, even when you were talking, your voice sounded very shaky. I fear to think about what the people of Oyo State would say to you if they had to come face to face with you. This is not the time. If you do this, you are literally saying to your people that you are tone deaf as to the sensitivities and the real issues that are afflicting the people of Oyo State. So go back, you and whoever thought this through. I don't know how, to what extent it was thought through, but please go back and let us focus on the bigger issues that our lives depend on to be able to live and survive and thrive in Oyo State.
Let me take this call from Alaji. Thanks for calling. You're live.
Ladies of YourView.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Like the topic this morning, I have been following this program for the past 10 years.
Thank you, sir.
But Morayo, the way you are analyzing your this thing today, I'm not comfortable with it. It seems that you are supporting all this government policy against the masses. How can you say in that Oyo, person will use 63 billion naira to renovate? If they want to build new governments, how much are they going to spend? How much are they going to spend if they want to build new government house? Other ladies are talking. You don't allow that you are arguing with them. It's not okay. We have to face reality in this world.
Thank you very much, Alaji Mr. So the objective of the show is to have different perspective. So there's always two sides to every story. So the ladies have taken a side, which is fine. It's also important for us to see the side of the government, because we've all said, look, we're clamoring for youth to get involved. Governor Makinde can be somewhat described as a young person, relatively young. So the young person is leading and they say I need 63 billion. We need to understand that, okay, this person is not totally, I'm not trying to find the right word to use, that he might have a reason. So I'm trying to understand that side. Doesn't mean he's right, doesn't mean I'm wrong. Just saying, we're trying to see various views on this matter. Not because I'm taking any side. I'm just trying to see all the sides.
Okay,
yes.
so for me, I just believe that this is government money, and government money is taxpayers' money, right? So first of all, I'm interested to know how much Oyo State, Oyo as a state generates in terms of revenue. That because
Google is our friend.
Because if as a governor, for example, let's say this state was generating 100 naira, and then I come in as a governor and I pushed. And within the 6 years I've been in office, I was able to generate 1 million naira, 1 million naira. And then I decide that when they now give us our budget, I now take out 10% of it. You know, that people can say, you've really worked, you've tried, things are happening. But I don't think that's the case here. So if this is government money, it means that...
According to FIRS, they hit 65.2 billion naira.
So he wants to spend the whole money to,
So that's in 2024. That's the revenue from I remember they also go cap in hand to government every doing the fact to collect money. But I mean...
No, nothing, sorry, please.
Yes, go ahead.
So if this is government money, then the people's money, so I believe that they deserve accountability and transparency. So I would expect within the next 1 week, 1 week is too much, because I believe that before you came out with this figure, you've already done all your due diligence and financial analysis. So I expect that maybe within the next 24 to 48 hours, because of the way people are clamoring about this, I would expect you, Governor Makinde, as the amazing governor that you are,
show of good faith.
To come out and show us what will be used, show us whether it's a Nigerian company that has this contract. Just show us everything now. By the time we see everything now, we might just align to this your 60-something billion. You don't know. So, but show us.
He has told you to mind your business.
We will not. In fact, I want to marry your man. I want to, as an invested in-law, I want to know what is happening in the state. I want to enter.
Okay, I have a call. Dami, I'll come to you. Hassan from Lekki, you're live.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Please, I frowned at what the governor said, that people are not from Oyo. As far as Oyo State is on the map of Nigeria, every Nigerian, for nook and crannies of this country, have the right, moral justification to talk about Oyo State. Because the money accruing to Oyo State is not only from Oyo, is from Niger Delta, is from other sources outside Oyo State. For him to say that is the way of touching people up, and that would not work with anybody. You see that amount of money for renovation is inflationary and is anti-people. And for him, what is even the cost of building brand new government house in Oyo? Look, if people wanted to give themselves a parting gift, please, they should come out and say it. But don't use the border rule to justify wrongs. It's very, very wrong. It's all right. Good morning.
Thank you very much, Damilola.
I think I want to say, first of all, to the amazing governor of Oyo State, Governor Seyi Makinde, you owe us an apology on that very statement that we should mind our business as because we are not direct indigenes of Oyo. I am an indigene of Lagos and Kwara State. My dad is from Lagos, my mom is from Kwara. And I want to believe that when things happen in Lagos and we say, oh, people that are not Lagosians should go to their state, they consider it as a slap because most of them, directly or indirectly, have contributed to the IGR of Lagos, to the goals, to the aesthetics, to the vision of Lagos, and henceforth, Lagos is leading as the center of excellence. Let's put it like that. But secondly, I also want to say, let's look at UCH, for example. I think in your tenure, it won't be bad if this 64 or 63 point something billion is going to another structure of a UCH-like modern facility for healthcare. Oyo State has land mass, and even according to Google, people of Oyo State are still in penury. They are still suffering. They are still impoverished.
For teachers.
I will tell you that aside from having most of my events in Lagos as an MC, I get a lot of jobs from Ibadan, from Oyo State, because I schooled 6 years in Oyo Command Secondary School, Apata. So most people, when they even hear my Yoruba, they are like, are you from Ibadan? Before even asking if I have an affiliation with Kwara. So to me, as a person, that's the slap on my face. Knowing fully well that I come to Ibadan, I spend money in Ibadan, so I should be interested in what Oyo people do. Now, let us look at what you want to leave for us as a legacy. You see, this renovation of building is really not my own thing. But I want to believe that there will be other things, maybe to now overshadow this 63 billion, because you people know how to, you know, juxtapose, balance, rigmarole, and when you push this one and you notice that it's not sitting well with us, you bring in another one.
Try to distract us.
If that 64 billion was to have cleared the debt of power supply in UCH, not having people or patients bring generator to power oxygen, to power their health facilities,
we have to
I think amazing, it would have been good. So please, Governor Seyi, you do the needful. Me, I would like to see breakdown if other Nigerians don't want to see it.
Okay, we have to wrap up on this, but I think I mean, as nice as it is for us to criticize the government, which is great, but I was trying to look for a few other things that we've seen, some of the good works of the governor, because the truth is that he has indeed put aside money for agriculture, for health. I think it's about 9% for health, 3% for agriculture, 10% for renovation, as we said, 21.4% for education, and quite a few other things. And he's doing quite a bit also in the in other sectors. I'm trying to look up the data right now, but I can't pull it up. But I hear Nigerians, and I think I agree with you, because I believe strongly that for where our nation is at right now, where we are, the truth is that first things first is fixing the economy. First things first is increasing the IGR. First things first is building more infrastructure to encourage commerce. Those are the priorities of the state. Renovation really shouldn't be in the top priority of any state. But however, even if they're going to be renovation, it should be done with some kind of understanding of our economic realities, and not be such that you're putting such a budget that will cause a cause of concern. This was a conversation I was trending all over social media and even among. So the government, not just in Oyo State, across the nation should be quite sensitive at these times. Politics is coming. We already speculate that maybe this is money they're putting aside for politics. Maybe it's not for renovation, because these are the kind of things people are saying. But we must understand the times and understand that everything we do has a greater impact on the Nigerian people. I think that's all we can take on this segment. We only wish the people of Oyo State the good during this and that. Let's go on a short break. When we come back, we continue with our next segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.